Hello, everyone. My name is Zach, and I am the New York City coding and tech tutor. And in this video, I'm going to show you, or in this video series, I'm going to show you how to build an app, an iOS, an Android, and a web app, all three, using the same code base and doing it all in JavaScript. And it's going to be really awesome. Um, if you if you are brand new to JavaScript or brand new to coding in general, this is not the tutorial for you. This is not the video series for you. This is for people who have a solid understanding of JavaScript and also probably people who have a solid understanding of React because we're going to be using React, which is a JavaScript library, a front-end JavaScript library. And we're also going to be using something called Ionic, which is also a front-end JavaScript library that works with React. We're not going to go too deep into Ionic. We're mostly just going to be using React, but we're going to be the main reason that we're using Ionic is because it provides build functions, build scripts for converting all of your JavaScript code into code that you can publish on the App Store, on the iOS App Store, and on Google's Android Play Store. And of course, you can also publish on the web on a URL. So that's what's awesome about Ionic is that it makes, in my opinion, is that it just makes everything easily convertible into those three pieces of software. Um, Ionic also has a lot of um, slick modules or components that you can use to make your app look and feel like a modern day app. I'm not going to be getting into those very deeply. I'm pretty much just using Ionic as a way to convert JavaScript into iOS, Android, and web code or web apps. Um, I'm not going to get into Ionic's components such as like swiping and all the things that, and like headers and footers and all the things that a modern app would normally have. Um, but you're happy to look at all of those things on the Ionic website or in the Ionic docs. In my personal opinion, I think tutorials are better when they just cut when they're sort of a little bit more bare bones and they just give you the most important things that you need to know. And then after that, they sort of trust you, the listener, the watcher, to fill in the gaps and to figure out the rest, especially when it comes to styling or more of the more nuanced things that you want to have in your app. So again, let me just share my screen real fast. The app that we're going to be making is pretty boring. It's and not very pretty. It looks like this. This is the web version. I will show you the same exact thing later in Android, and I will also show it to you like later in iOS. We're going to build it first. I'm on my Windows computer right now, so we're going to build it first for the web and for Android. And then at the end of the tutorial, I'm going to show you how I transfer all the code over to my Mac, and then I convert it into code for the iOS App Store. You cannot convert JavaScript code into iOS code without a Mac. So that's what I'm going to be doing. First, I'm going to be doing everything I can at the beginning for like the first 90% of this video series. I'm going to be doing it on a Windows computer, and then I'm going to switch over to a Mac computer. This app is pretty basic. It's just a to-do list. You can sign up. And signs up. And you can add items to your to-do list. You can delete items from your to-do list, and you can sign out. And if you sign back in, even if you sign in from another browser or from your phone, you sign back in, it remembers your to-do list. That's because the entire thing is connected to a database. I'm going to show you how to um, save your data so that the app remembers it on on its account. You're going to authenticate using an email and a password, and then it's going to create an area for that account to save on the database. For the database, we'll be using Firebase, Google's Firebase, um, and basically for the entire backend, we're going to be using Google's Firebase. Framework that we're going to use is called Ionic, as I said. When we start using Ionic, it's going to set us up. Most of what we see when we first start an Ionic project, which you'll see um, in the next video, most of what you see is actually React. It's saying right here that you can also use Ionic with Angular, which is like Google's front end library, and Vue, which is yet another front end library. But I'm going to be using it with React, and React is extremely common, popular front end library, front end framework. It was originally developed by Facebook, but it's now open source. Facebook still uses it, and Facebook still funds it, which is important. But Facebook has made it available for everyone to use. And the great thing about using something like Ionic and using something like React is that there's tons of support out there. The documentation is pretty good, and anytime you have a question, you can Google it plus the word Ionic or the word React, and 99% of the time you can find someone who's had your exact problem. So that's what we'll be doing, and thank you for watching this first video. I hope it sparked your interest, and let's move on to the second video, which is where we're going to start setting up the environment.